Super BS.
What up, my doodlies? Brank here from Super BS. We're welcoming you back. It's January 18th. We should have this up sometime around then. I'm joined today by...
What up? Jank Jankerson Josh here.
Nice. Joshy Janky boy. And right next to Joshy...
Hi.
That's all we get. That's my lady Madonna.
We're actually joined by an emoji.
An emoji.
It's just a
Hi.
hand.
Just a hi. We're missing Dave Stankbank, and we got no guests on today, but this should be pretty crazy. There's a ton of news, and we played a lot of games. So
Yeah, we did.
before we get to games real quick, you guys seen any movies recently? No? I watched The Post. I was just curious. I really enjoyed The Post.
How was it?
I liked it a lot. It was
And that's just about like a normal like doorpost or lamppost.
lamppost. It's about the life of a lamppost as it goes through many families in a house. Tom Hanks plays a lamppost. No dialogue. It's really brave, courageous role.
Is that the one with Meryl Streep though? For
yeah,
reals?
it is.
Okay,
Yeah, Meryl
cool.
Streep, and it's really interesting. It's about like freedom of the press, which is
They're
So
talking
cool.
about Wall Street
about fake
Journal.
news.
Is that the one?
no. It's so like I guess the government during the Nixon era decided to stop the New York Times from pressing an article about like how they knew the Vietnam War was essentially like a loss and how they didn't want to get out of it because they didn't want America to lose.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting. Like it's really, really
Did
cool.
they talk about how the Vietnam War was also like started as a hoax essentially?
They don't go. It's not. No, it's a Steven Spielberg film. It's
Okay.
still really pro-American. By the end, you're like, it's not. It's no London Has Fallen USA chanting, film,
Right.
which I watched recently, and it's awesome.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Or it didn't start as a hoax, but the original bombing that I think pretty sure this is either the Vietnam. I'm pretty sure it's Vietnam, not Korea, but whatever they said that the government said that like some boat was bombed, some American like Navy boat or something, and that was their excuse to like go into the war, but that ended up being a hoax. And the reason that I know that is I had to study in a computer sociology class where it talked about how basically like they couldn't get away with that in this era. There's certain things they obviously get away with that are super shady, but where there's no like back then there was no international news, so there's no like now I could like find Vietnamese news if it exists, whereas like so they'd say like oh like there was no boat that we bombed or something like that, but back
internet.
then yeah, exactly, with the internet, free press, that kind of junk.
I do real quick love how you had a computer sociology class because I imagine it's all computers and you're learning about how they interact with one another. Like I know you mean an online sociology class, but that's
there
really.
are such thing as sex robots now. So
Oh my goodness! Let's just talk about games we played.
The world
Thank
is
you,
going to weird
thank
places.
you, Jank.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, Donna, what have you been playing, man?
I have been. I'm gonna wait for this plane to pass over.
We're actually recording from the airport today.
Yeah, we're under planes.
Yes,
Yeah.
LAX on Terminal 1.
We decided, hey, let's go to someplace new. We want to get ourselves out there. We want everybody to listen to us. So it's honestly not bad. You can't hear it at all.
Okay. Anyway, so I'm playing quite a few games. I finished. We did a talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider
Yeah,
separately.
that will go up probably
but,
by next week.
Had I already finished it since the last time we podcasted? I forget.
I don't
think
know,
so.
but we've talked about it.
Either way,
we'll
I
have a
finished
20-minute
it.
talk.
I finished the DLC. I won 100% of the game. It was fantastic. We have a separate talk about it because we wanted to talk about it, but it's not super relevant to today, and it's not old enough to be retro. So I finished my playthrough of that. A couple things that I have been playing, continuing Elder Scrolls Online. I'll talk for a second. I just finished the Clockwork City downloadable content area. I finished all the quests. I finished, the dailies are essentially infinite, but I've done many of them. It was probably one of the coolest Elder Scrolls experiences. You don't hear a lot about Sotha Sil, who's the third tribunal for people that know Elder Scrolls lore. Most people are familiar with Vivek because Vivek
Vivek's
is
a city, right?
Yeah, but Vivek is a city named after Vivek, the god.
Oh, okay.
So basically, there's these three dark elves that ascended and acquired deity. and Vivek is the most known one. Mainly, I mean, the most known one to the public. Obviously, people that like fake imaginary people that exist in Elder Scrolls know of all three.
Yeah.
But Vivek's probably the most commonly held one because Vivek City is a big part of Morrowind. Almalexia is the second, and then Sothasil, who is also Vivek's brother, I believe, is the third. And he has created this entire realm. He's fascinated with Dwemer culture. So he's recreated basically like a hybrid of Dwemer machines, but they're mixed with organic material. So they're not just machines, they're half organic or part organic. And it exists in this entire realm called the Clockwork City that's the size of a snow globe, essentially. And
That's
so you
pretty
have
cool.
to get morphed down into it. It's one of the most fascinating looking areas. It almost looks weird enough to be a Daedric plane, but it's not. It's like a created realm. And in it, you're basically on a quest to figure out why the Daedra are invading, because they're not supposed to be able to. Specifically, the Daedra that are invading are the one that you're fighting off in this one is Nocturnal. But there's definitely hints that Mephala is going to be the theme of the next expansion area of the game, because there's three Daedra that were worshipped by the Dark Elves before these Dark Elves became gods, and so I think they're pretty pissed about that. So it's Nocturnal.
Hey, real quick, you guys know more about the Elder Scrolls lore than I do. At any point, do you get to actually see a Dwemer in any of the games?
Yeah, in Skyrim you get to.
You get to see the actual
Yeah,
Dwemer?
the Snow Elves.
Oh, okay. I don't actually
You see
remember.
them in the past.
Oh, wait, they're the Dwemer. The
Yeah.
Snow Elf? Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought the Dwemer were like dwarven type
They are.
beings.
They're not. They're the Dwemer are elves. So basically, in Elder Scrolls lore, like everything is a type of elf.
Yeah.
So there's no like dwarves in the sense of like Gimli. They're called the Dwemer have the key term dwarven attached to them. I'm pretty sure that I'm accurate about this, but they
We're gonna
are
get a lot of angry fan mail. If
they
you're not.
are the snow elves. So I think that's when you find out who the Dwemer were. I think that was a revelation to me in Skyrim, where it's like, oh, that makes sense because there's Dunmer, Altmer, Bosmer, Dwemer.
Well, because didn't they say, so in the
'Cause
expansion...
Myr, one more thing. I think Myr is a term for elf.
Oh, okay.
In the expansion, they mentioned something where the snow elves traded their vision for the dwarves' protection. Like it was part of the pact. Was like the dwarves would protect them if they went underground and gave up their eyes or something like that.
Maybe that's something I'll have to look into. That I'm pretty confident that there are no dwarves in the traditional sense, and that the Dwemer are in fact elves of some kind. Because there's a lot of people that say like for man and Myr, and Myr is elf, and so Dwemer would be that.
The real question everybody wants to know is Matt Damon in the Clockwork City after he got downsized in the movie Downsizing.
Oh, he's there.
Lonely.
Yeah, so it's a really fascinating story. You get to you spend a lot of time in the Evergloam, which is Nocturnal's realm, Daedric plane, which is a cool one. It's kind of like a weird, dusky, nightimey forest, castle, ruiny place, and all of her followers are like weird ghost creatures and topless women. So bonus.
Nice.
Sounds like a good tourist destination.
But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the story of it, and I'm really looking forward to where it goes. It has some interesting ideas when you meet Sothasil, because unlike Almalexia and Vivek, he doesn't really view himself as a god. He just lets people view him as a god, or he thinks that he basically is kind of like this very like distant person. So it's very interesting. So I played through that, and I'm really excited for the next story expansion. I know there's a new dungeon expansion coming out next month, but
what champ level are you before we switch?
I think I'm 270.
So you've got 600's the top, right? Or
690 right now.
Wow, oh my goodness. And they keep raising it, I feel like.
Yeah, they raise it every once in a while.
Oh, wow.
Like they raised it with Morrowind, or with the Morrowind expansion. So
what champ level are you, Josh?
I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
champ level 0.
I have about 20 hours invested in
And
the
don't
game.
ask me about my champ level. I'm max
Yeah.
champ.
Max champ.
once you know what you're doing, 20 hours can get you pretty far, but you don't unlock champ points until you hit 50. So anyway, so moving on, I played through the demo for Dragon Quest Builders on Switch, which got me really excited for that game.
What is that game?
It's Dragon Quest Builders.
I mean, what do you do? Is it like a mainline game, or are you like
No, it
building
is not a
something?
mainline game. It is a Minecraft ish
Okay.
game.
All right.
Kinda. It is Minecraft like, but it's also an action RPG. Whereas Minecraft doesn't have any persistent like leveling system. It's like you have levels in Minecraft. I never understood it.
Well,
but
you don't have
there's-
levels in this game either. You just have base levels.
I thought you could. Oh, your character doesn't.
your
how do
character
you gain more health?
You gain more health by completing quests, and people
Okay.
throw you life seeds.
Okay.
But the only way to be
Oh.
a stronger fighter is to build better armor and better weapons.
Okay.
Because part of the story of this game is that so it takes place at least the first zone, which is the only thing you have access to in the demo, is the ruins of Alefgard, which is the island from Dragon Quest 1.
Yeah.
And there's mention of Tantagel, which so it sounds like this game takes place within the realms of Dragon Quest 1 through 3.
It takes place over 4 distinct zones. That's the
Right.
only thing I know.
So I don't know, but the way Dragon Quest games work is that 1, 2, and 3 are connected, and then 4, 5, and 6 are connected in a more loose way.
Okay.
And then I don't think 7, 8, and 9 are connected at all.
It's coming out on Switch in February.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it is the core gameplay is the Minecraft. You are someone. So I believe it says the Dragon Lord, which may mean they're thinking it's the bad guy from the very first Dragon Quest. He's robbed the people of Alefgard of the ability to create. So they basically have to live like homeless people or like scavengers, essentially like that. And you are this builder blessed by the goddess who wakes up, and you have been blessed with the ability to create. So you can break things down and then recreate them. It sends you to the ruins of a town that you're tasked with rebuilding, and you meet a person who says like, "Oh, make me a bedroom, like make this." And then you have to eventually defend that town from a wave of monsters. And then once you do that, it unlocks the next zone, which is where the demo ends. But the gameplay functions in a lot like Minecraft, and the reason that you don't level up and get stronger is because you're a builder, not a hero. It's very clear about that in a Dragon Quest humor style way. So it makes very clear, like, you're not a hero. So the only way, like, you're a builder, so you're going to have to build better stuff to be stronger.
Yeah, it's really silly.
Yeah,
I did really
Dragon
enjoy
Quest
the
humor
demo.
just gets me. But I really enjoy it. It's a little more structured than Minecraft. As relaxing as Minecraft can be, I also don't find a lot of motivation in playing it. But this also is like you basically exploring to the very soothing sounds of Dragon Quest music, which is so incredible. But yeah, gameplay is essentially Minecraft. You break things, you build things. There's a few more in-depth things. There's blueprints you can follow and stuff like that. You have to build. You're tasked with you're rebuilding this city. So you have to like have bedrooms for people when they move in. You have to like have a workshop for people to work in. And you can actually have your citizens build things for you because you can inspire them to become creators themselves. And then at the end of the day, you can like check your chest. And it's like, oh, they built you a chair or they built like this. So there's a lot of stuff that can take place when you're not there, which is kind of interesting. So I'm looking forward to when that game comes out. Probably will be a purchase for me.
And you have one more thing that you've been playing, right?
Yeah, well, I've continued to play Legend of Legacy.
Okay.
I've reached a point in my enjoyment of that game where I've pre-ordered the Alliance Alive, which is the spiritual successor to this game.
Okay.
It's from the same team, Saga people, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to have the same crazy leveling system, but
What's
supposedly
it on?
it's on 3DS.
Alliance Alive?
Yeah, it's from yeah.
I don't actually know this game at all.
Yeah, so I've known about it. It's part of their it's part of Altus's or is it Atlas or I think it's
Atlas.
Atlas. That's right, Atlas. It's part of Atlas's like 3DS RPGs that are coming out early year. There's the Radiant Historia remake. There's the Alliance Alive, and then there's the
Shin Megami Tensei Journey. Blah blah blah.
yeah.
They just had a news article.
Yeah,
about this
so
week, but
the Alliance Alive is something that I was originally going to pass on, but the apparently what they've done is they've taken a ton of they're basically taking all the feedback and criticism from Legend of Legacy, and then they're going to improve it in this game. Plus, it's going to be story focused. So whereas the Legend of Legacy is very much like a wandering explorer, grindy sort of game, which is done really well, so it is actually fun. But there's not a lot of like, oh, I got to find out what happens. It's more just like, I want to see this new area and explore it. This game is supposed to have like an actual plot.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting to me. So, and then the last thing I've been playing is I just started playing Final Fantasy 15 Comrades, the
Yeah.
multiplayer expansion.
What do you think about it?
I'm enjoying it. It's pretty cool. I don't know if there's something wrong with my internet or something wrong with within the system, but it won't let me join people online.
Oh. Is it friends only type game or?
Maybe.
Okay.
I can't imagine that. I know that the audience for this game is smaller on Xbox than it is on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So to have something that relies only on friends is really reaching.
You could play with AI though, correct?
Yes, and that's what I have been doing. So the way the game basically functions is it's a similar combat system to Final Fantasy 15. There's a few differences because you're not Noctis, so you don't have the same power set as Noctis, of course. And you play a member of the Kingsglaive who's been recovered. It's a year and a half into the era of darkness, which is kind of the break between chapter 14 and 15 in Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah. That's a cool. Wait, isn't it the break between 13 and 14? And 14 is where you. Because I remember 13 is the one where you're going through the place and sneaking around.
Yeah.
Doesn't that end and then 14 starts up in the world of ruin?
Well, it would take place during the time when you were sneaking around, though, right?
Because
No.
Because remember, find the crystal.
Yeah, you find the crystal and then you go to sleep for 10 years.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I just thought that was.
Spoiler.
Yeah, well, the game is now a year and a half old,
Yeah.
so I feel
okay.
like.
I could be wrong about which chapter.
Yeah,
takes
I was
place
just
in.
curious, just because I remember chapter 13 being
Well, don't be
so
a dick
panned.
about
and
it.
Yeah,
I
jeez.
gotta focus on. Everybody knows we focus on correct. Anyways,
Okay,
tell us
so
about Comrades.
yeah, so it takes place during that time, indiscriminately between chapter 14 or 13 or
Yeah,
15.
whatever. Yeah, towards the end of the game.
It very much should have been released as a standalone, so they could have called it Final Fantasy 15 Chapter 13.514 Redo
Prologue.
Final Prologue Mix. That's just a typical Square thing. I'm surprised they withheld themselves. So anyway, the basic premise, again, you're Kingslave, and you're in Lestalem, and you're basically tasked with going out on hunts to collect power sources to power up the city. Because if you remember, demons can't go into the light in this game. So you're trying to keep the power on, essentially. And as you gather more power, you can expand the electrical grid and light up more outposts, more things. It's kind of an interesting mechanic. Seems like a lot of fun. I don't know how slow of a grind it becomes long term.
You did mention one really cool thing to me earlier today about the leveling system. It sounded, I mean, maybe it's cool, maybe it's not, but it's pretty interesting about your characters.
Oh, yeah. I guess it will depend on how I truly feel about this long term. I mean, I probably won't create a bunch of characters, but basically, your characters are all tied supposedly to the same level, so same inventory. So if you switch avatars, it won't do anything to your progress. You don't have to start over from scratch, which is probably nice.
Is there a benefit to switching avatars, though?
So the only thing I can imagine, besides just wanting to look different, how many nerdy guys out there want to play as really hot chicks.
Well,
because it's a pretty good character creator.
Yeah,
Funny 'cause it's true.
that's all I care about.
Yeah. But so you do get a choice in the beginning of the game to pick where you're from, and that affects your stats.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming that if you created another character and you wanted it to be from Galad and be more magic oriented or something like that you could. Because I picked them from Lestalem, so I have high attack and HP. And Alticia is kind of tanky.
Okay.
And then from Lucius is more magic-y, and then Galad I think is offensive, so it's attack and magic attack.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, there's 4 places to choose from. So I'm assuming you get to repick that. I actually don't know because I've only created the one character.
So the other people on your team though, do you get to pick where they're from so that
No, when you're doing the AI, I think it's randomly generated. It seems pretty good about giving me a healer and giving me a damage dealer and a tank and stuff like that. I read complaints about the AI with everything online. I don't think there's a single game where
doesn't have
hardcore
complaints.
nerds don't go the AI is so stupid.
Yeah.
honestly though in Halo they are pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Which Halo?
All of them.
All of them. I don't know. I played Guardians and I felt like they were.
Which
pretty
AI?
good.
You're talking about the soldiers that you're trying.
The soldiers, yeah. I'm always getting grenades chucked at me. It's ridiculous.
They're not the best. There are much worse instances. Anyways,
Anyway.
one last thing about it. Do they have raids or dungeons? Because you can do 4-player co-op. I'm
don't
curious.
think so, but
That's
if there
kinda a bummer.
are, I haven't unlocked them yet.
Because that'd be cool.
That
would
be cool.
They would. I mean, they're so close to doing it. Like, we don't talk about this game at all, but I played it a long time ago. Grand Theft Auto 5. With Grand Theft Auto Online, they finally came out with heists, which are like their raids, and it was it's a cool idea. Like, hey, if you're gonna make an online thing, might as well make like a big thing that everybody's working towards.
Something I've realized, and I think there's a good chance I'm right about this. I'm realizing now that a lot of people have differing opinions on this like continually expanding Final Fantasy 15. We're going to talk about the Royal Edition coming up here.
We can actually just talk about it now. Our news section is so big. You want to just bring it up right now?
So Square announced this week the Royal Edition, which includes supposedly all of the DLC thus far, but it also includes a bunch of new content. It includes some new. Looks like it includes some new stuff that happens in the end of the game because the trailer shows a lot of old Noctis. Or not old Noctis, but 30-year-old Noctis.
Yeah.
Our age Noctis.
Yeah. He's so decrepit he could barely walk.
So it shows a lot of that stuff. It also shows that you can now access a boat.
Yeah.
It has an
An
extra.
Altissia?
Yeah, which will be interesting. I'm interested to see what you can find with the boat.
Yeah.
You know? I'm assuming there's like places on the map that you can't get to without it, just like there's that dungeon you can't get to without the flying car.
Yeah. What about the monster truck? Did you guys ever play when they added that?
No,
I
I
didn't
saw
play
that
it.
in the trailer though.
Yeah, I think that's been in the game. Like
Sure.
I haven't messed with it yet, but it allows you to off-road finally, which is what a lot. Yeah, honestly, I never had a problem with the driving in that game, but I
me
know
neither.
a lot of people wanted to be able to off-road and drive off, and I was
Definitely.
like, whatever.
So I think, and then so there's an extra dungeon.
First-person mode,
There's
which
a
is
first-person
crazy.
mode.
I didn't
Right.
get
Really?
So this is the first-person mode, especially, but also just the ever-evolving mechanics. Supposedly, they've beefed up the Lucius ring.
Okay.
To the Noctis's ring. They've changed the mechanics of how he casts magic from the ring.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And apparently,
interesting.
they've done something more action-oriented with the Armiger as well. So
I know you can switch all your characters now, and you can play as any of the mains, which is really interesting.
That's interesting. So here's my thought. I think that Final Fantasy 15 is now officially basically like a science experiment to test out mechanics for whatever Final Fantasies come next.
It's kind of a cool idea.
It is a cool idea because I think Final Fantasy 15's world is super awesome. I mean, it's really fun. It's like going into our California backyard. I'm pretty sure that they modeled it after California. It just looks so much like it.
I have two questions. I don't know. Maybe I couldn't find anything online about this. One, do you know if the DLC is going to be incorporated into the story? Because I know that there are parts when it drastically changes the narrative.
So, well, so far there isn't. Supposedly there is another ending thing happening where there's like they're releasing like an ending that's a different ending than the main game.
I don't know. I mean,
read something about that. So the DLC doesn't change the narrative of the game, supposedly, except for that maybe that ending. But the DLC so far is separate.
you can't access it through the main game?
I don't think so.
That would be
That makes sense,
That would
I
be
guess.
cool if you could like after was in the Sea City where
Ignis goes off? Or
yeah,
is
and
that
then
the
you
one
can
where
just kind of go
in
into
his
what
path.
happens to Ignis right after
That'd be cool.
Noctis's thing.
Yeah, that would be great.
Square Enix doesn't like doing that, though. Like, they did the same with Sleeping Dogs. The only game I can think of that they do integrated DLC is Tomb Raider's Baba Yaga, which we talked a lot about on the side.
So, but again, I think these are all basically like experiments they're going to be doing. And I think that we're going to see a Final Fantasy 16 that has a very similar battle system to Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
I think we might see more integrated DLC. I think we might see a boat and an airship in that game as part of the main game, not as part of the like random stuff you can do once you beat the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, we'll all be like 50 though by the time it comes out.
Well,
so.
I think it will be next gen. I don't think we're going to see another Final Fantasy this generation.
Supposedly, except for the 7 remake, but
yeah, that is another
we'll be like
story
50 when that
entirely.
comes out too.
yeah,
they haven't even talked about that
wouldn't
for
be
2 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 16 this gen, but I
Really?
don't think my prediction wouldn't be for it, but if it ended up happening, I'd be like, all right.
Because PS5 rumors have already started for next year.
Right.
That's
Now,
insane.
if 16 was a launch title for the next gen consoles,
it won't happen.
No, I'm just saying if
Yeah.
it was though, that would be really cool.
It would. It won't
Oh,
happen.
man.
I just don't see it happening because
PS5, like that would be. They should be milking. It took them
PS4,
so
70
long.
million consoles are sold for PS4. Even more than that. I think it's 77 or something
We
like
haven't
that.
even gotten a lot of release dates for the games that Sony has been promising.
my goodness.
With 70 million units, there's like 3 games that I really want to play on PS4.
Here's the thing. There was a lot of good third-party games this generation. That's like most of them are great
Right.
third-party. And I think the problem was Xbox released at a price point that, and we could talk about this for years, but a price point that was too high for most at $500. And it sadly was underpowered slightly compared to PS4. I still have an Xbox One. I still buy most of my multiplats on it. Like, it's not a big deal, but because of that, everybody's like, well, PS4 is power to the player. And they've been talking about these games that are coming out for so many years that people were stoked on them. You know, outside of Horizon Zero Dawn, I think that was only had a 2-year launch cycle. Bloodborne, I feel like that was in talks for forever. The Order 1886, that was in talks back in the PS3. Like, so that's their thing. Like, it's an annoying thing, but that's their thing.
I think there was also a lot of unfair shade on Microsoft we've talked about before too, where just they had a lot of innovative ideas that everyone hated, but now Sony tries to do similar ideas, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!"
Sony has this hype train that seems to never lose momentum, no matter how
I don't even get it.
disappointing
But
are.
okay, imagine PS5 coming out, unless it is
It has to be backwards compatible. If
It
it does
has
not
to be.
play PS4 games, they are going to burn. I cannot imagine how they will spin that and like, oh, you should buy your next one, and none of your PS4 games work on it, but just pay for it anyways. Like, especially since they're talking about it, maybe not 2019, but 2020 is the release for the next gen consoles.
Do you think that like Microsoft has to constantly be paying attention to what Sony's doing? So like,
I think they're doing their own thing,
oh,
man.
hey, there's rumors that they're making a next gen console. We should probably get to work on.
I hope
something like that.
Microsoft has learned to trust its gut a little bit more, because they backed out of a lot of really good ideas because of like Sony fans basically frowned on them and the internet frowned on them. But now they're like, oh man, that would be so great. Could you imagine game sharing with 10 people?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We
Like,
would
I don't even,
literally
like-
buy one game and split it.
Like, holy crap! Like,
$5.
yeah,
yeah, right.
And they had the ability, they were going to allow you to return games, which is still something I guess they were toying around, return digital games, which is something they were still toying around with. But, I mean, we could talk about that. One thing I do want to talk about before we move on to more games that we've been playing is Jim Ryan, the guy who said that essentially PlayStation's backlog was garbage because it looked terrible and why would people want to play these games, just got promoted to vice president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, which I thought is the craziest thing ever. You guys remember him, right?
yeah.
He was the guy who said that, why would anybody want to play these old Gran Turismos? Like, it's stupid to have backwards compatibility. Look at this new one. And like, he pissed off a lot of people, and now he just got promoted. I'm like, oh man,
I'm sure he'll get worship still. Like, all it'll take
for sure, yeah.
All it'll take is like one like really nice Phil Spector comment for Sony fanboys to go like, well, Jim Ryan's way better than this guy.
Yeah. Oh man.
Microsoft has done a great job though of marketing that nostalgia.
And I hope.
Well, I think too, Nintendo, as incomprehensible as they are, they have a better reason for like, oh, why would you want to play these old games? They look terrible.
Yeah.
They're just like, we want people to focus on what we're doing now. And if you want to play your old games, like have like your old systems or something like that, it's like, it's not like they don't understand the appeal of their old games.
And I think the big thing for Nintendo isn't that, like, I still wish they were all backwards compatible. I wish we could play them all the time. But they didn't have a guy come out and say, like, what? Why would you guys want to play? They literally have their front man, Reggie, keep saying, we really do want you guys to play these games. It's just not ready yet or whatever, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
play new. So at least, even though they are not much better than Sony, they're not saying, like, things that are, like, outrageous. Like, why would you anger your fan base for no reason?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to buy any more digital PlayStation games, and I bought a couple recently, like, because they were on sale, Kingdom Hearts and a few others. But because, like, I'm worried the next generation I won't be able to play them. Like, I bought quite a few PS3 games. I have a lot of PS1 classics, and I'm now worried, okay, well, I bought these games. They're useless. Like, I'm thinking of selling my Vita, and I'll never be able to play those games again.
Right.
So, anyways, well, before we get to the news,
So
there's
just
a
to
ton of
sum up
stuff.
that tangent we just got off
Yeah.
of, so I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 15 is like a is in a lot of ways like a market research
Yeah,
for
I could see that.
ideas. You know, I think we'll see a Final Fantasy 16 that's probably pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I think we'll see Final Fantasy 16 probably in a couple years, but I don't think we'll play it for 4 or 5 years after that. I hope Square is learning like everyone else.
I think they're going to learn their lesson about.
I hope so, but they showed Final Fantasy 7 remaster, and that's still like we still don't even know when the first episode's coming out.
Yeah, well, I think the thing they've realized is to just not let Tetsuya Nomura projects out of the bag, because he seems to be the only one where the project is like announced and then 15,000 years later.
And he's the one working on 7?
Supposedly he's working on 7 and Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay. Kingdom Hearts 3 is the one that's supposed to be out this
Why give him
year.
another project?
7, because 7 was the first Final Fantasy where he was more than a monster designer.
I think he was just art director, though. He wasn't like, I don't think he did it.
He had a bigger role on 7 than he had on any previous games. But the point being is that I guess it makes sense that he would be in charge of that project, but it mostly seems to be his projects. I mean, like Nier Automata, how long was the announcement to release of that?
It was 2, which wasn't bad. 2 years,
not too bad.
Yeah, it's. I just still think the days
Same
of
with like Rise of the Tomb Raider wasn't a long time.
Yeah,
and again, I think
that's because that's a Western company. I still think the East, like Japanese companies, don't mind showing stuff way sooner than they should.
Perhaps
like that.
But I think they're going to be. I think we're going to see something a lot different than Final Fantasy 15's like development cycle.
I don't think it's going to be 10 years.
Because again, especially I think that they're going to be basically using 15 as like an engine platform to develop a new game on. That's why we'll see similar battle mechanics, but with more. Maybe from the get-go, you'll be able to switch controlling characters. We'll see similar.
I think there'll be
stuff.
skill trees and stuff too that they didn't really have in this. Anyways, let's talk about the rest of the games because we got a crazy new section today. Josh, what have you been playing? I know you've had a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
but,
so I've sat down and finished Wolfenstein: The New Order.
It's actually pronounced Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Did you like it?
I did like it a lot. It has a lot of shock, like parts that are shocking. Like it's because you sit there and you literally like.
Would you consider it as shocking as an official interruption?
Yeah.
For the day.
you heard it here first. No, but it's a really fun game, and it's like, granted I played it on the level below normal. I don't know if that's like the easiest one.
Don't Hurt Me.
Yeah,
I think is what it's called. Yeah, that's what I played.
I just wanted to play for the story, and like the world is interesting. The villains they're still challenging at that level, but there are parts when you watch some guy like get his brain like drilled out the back of his head, and it's like a lot of it is. It's hard to watch, but at the same time, you can't look away from it. And I wonder, like, if they did that they knew that was going to be a thing, or
you should play the second one.
No, I know I want to. I was maybe waiting until it comes out on Switch to play it, but
oh man, that's going to be I hope soon.
That's what I'm thinking. But no, it's a great game. It's fun, and like it has a story that's compelling enough to make me want to keep going back to it.
I understand the appeal of wanting to play it on the go, but games like that, those are graphics games to me, where it's like I would never want to play it on the Switch.
For sure, I understand that mindset too, but there were so many days when I was playing Wolfenstein 2 where I had to go to work, but I knew I was going to have hours free at work where all I want to do is like, I want to play this on the Switch just so I could take it. I do understand though, because when I played it at home, it's going to be downgraded, it's not going to be as powerful on the Switch, but oh man. And I've come around on New Order. I know I released a review where I said I hated it. I still don't think it's as good as 2.
See, I haven't played 2 yet, so I don't have anything to compare it to. You were talking about Wolfenstein 2 having like the kind of weird ending. This one was a tragically hopeless game, so I didn't have any expectations for the ending. I just like knew that it was fun getting there.
Yeah.
And so that was, I might put a review up for that. I know we were talking about that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Or we could do if another one of us finishes it, we could do one of those backlog chats. Like if me or Donna finish it, because those are kind of fun. They're a way for us just like to talk through the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when they're old like this. But yeah, if you put a review, that'd be cool. What else you been playing?
I finally finished N++, and that's a game that I was given to review months ago. And do you guys remember like being in high school and playing those like stick death games on the computer, or like the Happy Wheels games where you're in the wheelchairs? Do you guys remember games like that? They're like puzzle games.
I don't know.
Were those like E-Bombs World kind of games?
Yeah. The kind of game you just like play to pass the time. So N++ it's a puzzle game that's just like that, but it is so unforgiving. And it's not just because I'm bad at video games. It is like I had to sit there and watch YouTube videos to see how these people like bounced off these walls, and like there's obstacles all over the place, and the moment you hit them, you explode, and it's just I think there's like 1,200 levels that you can play through because they have so many at different difficulties.
Okay.
And
Wow.
they had and
Did you play through all 1,200?
no.
Okay,
I
'cause was
played
about to
through.
say,
I
that's
played through like
insane.
the first 10, and I couldn't do it anymore. I see why people like it, but
Yeah.
it's just with so many. Like I'm more into story-oriented games, so I don't really have the patience for puzzle games.
Term is story-oriented.
Story-oriented games.
I think those games, like, sure, they have an audience, but I'll never understand it. Like, I liked Super Meat Boy, but the games where it's like Super Meat Boy with 3,000 levels, it's like, what's
Sam-
the point?
Yeah.
I'm a hardcore vegan, so I'm more of a super tofu boy.
I did like the level builder in N++. You could basically design your own levels and put it out for people to play. But the only problem is you can't play them after you build them, so you don't even know if they're beatable.
So it's like the opposite of Mario Maker, where you had to beat them to put them online.
Yeah.
but
You can
can't
just like have a map that's all like traps and like lasers and
No, that shouldn't. Mario Maker did it the right way. You have to beat your own level before you can put it online.
Right. Yeah. Other than that, I played Tomb Raider because you guys were talking about Rise of the Tomb Raider. I thought I'd jump
Played the
on
wrong
that.
one.
Yeah. No.
No,
but
no. You did not play the wrong one. You did the right thing and play the amazing first reboot.
Hey, for real,
We're talking about Rise of the
absolutely-
Tomb Raider.
Yeah, no, I thought that's what I was playing, but no,
If you had asked me, like, should I bother with the first one, I would have said, hell yes, you should.
Dude, I absolutely loved it. Like I remember I started playing it a while ago and I put it down, but then I don't know why I did that. Like it's probably one of the best games I've played in the past like 6 months.
It came out the end of the. I don't know if you guys played on 360, but I played on 360. And
I played it on 360 as
and
well.
It came out at the end of the 360 life cycle. At that time,
Yeah.
everybody was busy with stuff, and on top of that, BioShock Infinite came out. I want to say a month later.
Right.
So it was like really. I think they're both 2013 games. So. That's why I probably put it down.
But man, that's a game, the original Tomb Raider reboot, that leaves you wanting more.
Oh, for
where
yeah.
you're not
Hey,
like
I bought Rise of the Tomb Raider on Amazon the moment I finished it.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Rise of the Tomb Raider did the same thing for me, where it's like it wasn't like, oh man, okay, I could not do that again for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like I'm ready. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about this a lot. We're ready for the third one. I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping that will be an E3 or sometime announcement.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I hope it gets like the recognition it deserves because I noticed that when Tomb Raider games get announced, like the newer ones, they kind of get passed over by other news objects or game releases.
I don't know. I feel like Rise of the Tomb Raider, Microsoft did a really good job. E3 2014 and 2015, maybe.
Well,
like they put it front and center.
Yeah,
Those are their four
maybe it just
pillars.
wasn't in my peripherals at all,
Yeah.
but the game is amazing. The story, like it has a very good story, so you don't really notice like how many hours you're putting into it. And I freaking love the bow and arrow.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
I
yeah.
use that almost more than I use the guns.
Yeah, I did. I use it so much.
The only time I didn't use the bow and arrow was when like it was one of those shield guys coming at you, and you had to get behind him and shoot him.
Oh yeah.
What do you have to do for that? Do you have to
You
melee?
Can,
and
you
then,
can melee or you
shot?
can blow them up.
Okay.
Just depends.
See, I didn't have like the hook attack unlocked yet, so I like would run and I would try to jump over their swing, and I'd get behind them and shoot them with a machine gun.
Can you? I forget. In that first one, can you set body traps? Like, so say you stealth kill a guy. In Rise
Oh,
of the
yeah,
Tomb
that's
Raider,
cool.
you can go and plant a trap on his body. So when other guys go like, "Hey, we got a body here," and they like come over and investigate, they blow up and die.
Yeah, it's you don't. It's,
Or they get gassed,
You
whatever.
you unlock it towards the end of the
Okay,
game.
but you can still do
yeah,
that,
you
yeah.
can still do it. One thing I did really like was that that big. I don't know if we're getting into spoiler territory, but the big
It's so old. Yeah.
yeah, the
5 years old now.
the samurai dude, the big one.
Yeah.
I remember like when they first showed him, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I really don't want to fight that guy because that's gonna be a pain in the ass to do. But then they make it so the fight is actually relatively like easy. You know, it's not something you have to spend.
It's easy.
You know what? Whenever we talk about that, it actually kind of makes me excited for, and I'm hoping they do this well. The Tomb Raider movie coming out this March, which is based on that game story.
Yeah.
With Alicia Vikander.
Yeah.
Like, I think it could be awesome
I
because
wish
that
they
story
had-
was cool.
I do wish they had used the actress that they based this Lara Croft on.
Yeah, that would have been cool, but maybe she's not as strong of an actress as
She's on Grey's Anatomy, which I guess I don't
Yeah.
like that show, but I mean she's a pretty incredible voice actress.
But
So.
Alicia Vikander, Ex Machina, is like stupid good.
She's
Well, I think-
really good.
Alicia Vikander's a little bit younger because I think the Lara Croft actress now is like 35.
Okay, that's
And
probably why.
Although
they did
she's our age, she's
Yeah.
29.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I'm not a creep that knows actresses' age. I just recently investigated who's in this
the Tomb
movie.
Raider. No, it looks. I hope it's good. Like I think
Yeah.
it could be a really good video game movie.
In all of the still shots I saw of it, I was like, I don't think
Yeah.
I like the way this person looks. But then in the trailer, I was like, oh no, I'm pretty sold.
if it follows that story, that was
Yeah.
a good enough story. That's like one of those rare video
Hopefully
game
they
stories.
don't try and insert like a shower scene like Angelina Jolie's.
They need to
stupid
just do
Tomb Raiders
3 of
movie.
You know, I
those where-
always forget that was Daniel Craig in that movie.
Daniel Craig's in that?
Yeah.
He's the
Yes.
villain, right?
Yeah. Hey, Laura.
Is that the second movie though, or the first one?
It's the first one.
I saw both of them. The second one's pretty terrible. It is like awful.
That's
the first
with
one's
the Cradle of Life. Or
yeah,
whatever.
Cradle of Life.
Yeah.
That one's a lot worse. I remember even as a kid not really
The
enjoying that.
second one's Gerard Butler, isn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Did you play any other games?
Yeah, it's just one more. I played
Okay.
Xenoblade Chronicles too.
Oh my God.
I'm probably not going to finish it, and it's not because I don't like it. It's just because I'm online and I'm reading that it's going to. It doesn't. Everyone's like saying it doesn't get good until like 30 or 40 hours in, and so
Yeah.
I just don't have the time to invest in.
I think in a different year, I would have also been more interested in it. And, you know, this is something that Donna brings up a lot that I normally don't care about. But if the characters looked better, maybe, and the story was more interesting.
I'm sure
and
the story is interesting.
It's
but
not in the first 4 hours. I know that's not a lot for this style of RPG, but I just can't. You know, I can't spend 30 hours and then be like, oh, man, maybe it'll get interesting. There's too many better games out there.
Yeah. I like the concept of it, but I don't think I'm going to have the time to invest.
Yeah. I'll real quick say what I've been playing. Not a lot. Well, actually a lot, but it's not a lot of like time in each one. Play Wolfenstein New Order. I'm definitely coming around on that. A lot better than I thought originally. I've been playing Wolfenstein. Yeah, sorry, got it wrong. I've been playing Fractured Butthole, South Park, which Donna beat earlier. I like the game a lot. I am having a hard time finishing it just because I find the combat at this point to be kind of boring. Like, it's not bad. The system's great, but I've fought too many battles, and I just want them to be over so I can get to the funny jokes and the story, which is amazing. I was talking to Dawn off air. I'm at like a lab, which is close to the end, and you're saying that, which is there's a lot of
man.
stupid stuff in there. So I think I'm around 5 hours out. I'm gonna try to beat that. Real quick, just so we don't have to talk about this in the news, that is a rumored game for Switch. It's supposedly coming out in March. So that's a game I wish I could have played. I wish they would have released on Switch day and date because I would have beaten it by now for sure. So I've been playing that. I turned on Quantum Break last night, played a couple hours. Did either of you guys play that?
No.
That was one by the Alan Wake creators.
Yeah. I love Alan Wake. That game is amazing, and they even have like a really cool tie-in early on, but it is not very fun combat-wise. I find the exploring really cool, and I wish sometimes they'd just do a shorter game that was just about exploring. The acting's great. And then I also have been playing Tacoma. I'd like to finish that and review it.
What kind of gameplay is
Is
that?
that
Gone
the
Home.
sequel to Tacoma Mockingbird?
Tacoma Mocking.
Mo-
No, it's the Gone Home guys. You guys should really play this. It's really cool. It's so the gameplay is this: you walk around an abandoned space station, and you can look at these AR logs for these crew members, and you watch a story unfold. And you can every once in a while they'll pull up this sheet that has like their emails and stuff, and you can click on that and read it and find more about what's happening and what's going on. It's not very long, but I have so many games I'm playing. Like I even like a dummy started Super Mario Odyssey again from the beginning, and I'm almost done with it again because I love that game.
Jeez.
I have more than like 120 moons.
I started from the beginning.
Yes, I started a new file. I love it.
Have you
Like,
tried Luigi's Balloon Mode yet?
it's-
Oh wait, no, that's not out yet.
Not yet.
Yeah,
We're gonna
not
talk
yet.
about that. That's oh man, that Nintendo Mini. So yeah, I'll stop with that. There's a bunch of stuff I played, but all of them was for like maybe 2 to 3 hours at most. Nothing that I really deep dived. Rise of the Tomb Raider, but we have a backlog chat for that. I'm gonna do a real quick break here, and then we'll come back with all the news.
Boom.
Hey everyone, venture into the pop culture cosmos today, where you'll hear our conversations on different topics within the world of movies, TV, video games, comic books, technology, board gaming, and more. You'll also get a taste of some of our other shows within the cosmos as well. So come on and join us each week as we delve into the pop culture cosmos.
Welcome to the pop culture cosmos.
Yow dat dat da dow.
Oops, sorry, that's just me peeing.
I like that noise. So we got a ton of news. I'll run through some of these news stories and we'll talk about them. I think most of these are. I'll start with the rumors. New Fable from the Forza Horizon 3 team.
Ooh.
What do you guys think? Like, I loved Fable 1. I love Fable 2. I couldn't get into Fable 3. I know that.
Oh, I love Fable 3.
Yeah, it was fun. That was like
Really?
one I actually like invested in the side
Really,
quest.
I
Yeah.
beat Fable 2 like probably 100% because I was like achievement hunting.
Oh, yeah. Fable 2.
And Fable 1 I loved. I have the trilogy is backwards compatible, so I do want to go back and play Fable 1 because they did a remastered version on 360.
Yeah, when I think like Fable and Halo and Fable pretty much defined the original Xbox for me.
Fablo.
Fablo. And yeah, what do you if it comes out, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think in E3 or
big.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if there's rumors spreading around now, Microsoft is going to keep denying them, and then at E3 they're going to announce it, and it's going to be absolutely awesome.
It would be extremely wise. That's such an abandoned franchise, and it's like,
And there's so much desire for it too.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really hoping it happens. There's another game that also got rumored, which I don't know if this rumor is going to come true. There's going to be a new Perfect Dark, not made by Rare.
interesting.
They're
For what?
I assume Xbox, unless Microsoft started. So Microsoft did something again, very pro gamer, but kind of shooting them. I wouldn't say shooting themselves in the foot, but very pro gamer statement where they said they're looking to bring their games to other consoles. So I don't know 100% what it's coming out on, but I would assume for sure Xbox because they own the IP.
They would only profit though if they put games out on other consoles because they would still get money, right?
Yeah, Minecraft is one of their best-selling games ever because they bought that from the dude for $3 billion.
Yeah, and you can play it across multiple.
Yeah, and they're sorry, I don't want to sound like an Xbox fanboy here, but I love how they've decided to do. They've opened up the cross-platform play, like Switch and Xbox now are some of the few things I can play.
Sony's being the bitches, right?
Yeah, they got the most players, so why let other people play it? But yeah, so those were kind of two rumors. I'm way more excited for Fable than Perfect Dark, but I thought
I didn't like Perfect Dark Zero.
I liked the original Perfect Dark, the N64 one.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like it had co-op, which was what I always wished GoldenEye had.
I remember when Rare was a cool company.
Yeah,
I guess we could see about Sea of Thieves.
yeah,
Hey, I'm excited about that.
That was
actually.
something we didn't talk about when we were talking about the next gen stuff, but Microsoft has like a kind of a killer spring lineup. Like it's not like stuff that's mainly aimed at me, but it's got State of Decay 2, it most likely has Crackdown 3, and it's got Sea of Thieves. I mean, that's 3 big games coming out
And
in
those
the
are
first
all
half of the year.
games you can play for a long time too, so it's not.
Yeah. So I think they're doing their last year was kind of a miss outside of Cuphead, which is amazing because this year is going to be good. Dave's not here, but I want to bring this up. WoW just introduced scaled leveling.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to try it, just like play the free trial and see how it is. They can go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I know we talk a lot about Elder Scrolls Online here, which does that.
Is that kind of like in Assassin's Creed how you can't go to certain places without being that level, so now you can go anywhere? in the
Anywhere.
game?
Yeah. You
Okay.
can do anything in any order you want.
And that's cool. Like I think I'm curious how it plays, but people
Yeah.
say it's fun to level again.
I imagine that it has its benefits and it has its cons. I imagine that it probably presents like a less cohesive experience because I run into that in Elder Scrolls Online where because I can go to anywhere that I want, sometimes you do quest lines where it's like people know you from other quest lines, but you actually haven't done that quest line yet. So I imagine in the pre-scaling days that was
Like a
why
quest
that
line.
worked.
I enjoy scaling ESO a lot more. I don't
Oh
play
no,
a ton
no,
of it, but I play both. And
I wouldn't change it,
Yeah.
but what I wish would be that there was like a mode where you could like unlock quests in order or something like that.
Yeah.
just so that you can have like the most lore consistency, but it's
That'd be
not a
cool.
huge deal.
Yeah, I think chain quests are good for that. I'm surprised they didn't do that for all that. But I just
Well,
thought
they have chain quests, but it's like
but I'm surprised they have any quests that people recognize you for that aren't chained up in like a row. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I know if Dave was here, he'd probably have a lot more to say. None of us play that game, so let's talk about the Nintendo Mini Direct. That's like the big thing. I don't know if this was in the Direct, but I wanted to bring it up too. Night in the Woods. You guys heard about that indie game?
no.
It's like you're a cat.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's side scroller, kind of like indie story game. I do want to play. It comes out on Switch February 1st. Steep, the Ubisoft game.
It's about making tea.
It's about making tea. You steep it. No, that is like the snowboarding game. That's supposed to come out on Switch like soon.
I saw a video of that. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be out on Switch like maybe this or next month.
Dude, I miss cool borders, man.
But yeah, those are the last two like. Well, Night in the Woods isn't a rumor, but Steep is the last rumor I want to talk about. Nintendo Mini Direct came out. I want to run over the stuff I don't think we care about. Pokken is adding DLC. Nah, I don't care about. Payday 2.
Maybe.
Nah, I don't know. I'm not going to get it. It's on everything else for way cheaper. Scribblenauts Showdown.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, anyways, here's the cool stuff. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
Okay, so I missed out on the Hyrule Warriors thing. Is this like Dynasty Warriors with Zelda?
It's when they
You own it, right?
Yeah, I do. It's like Fire Emblem Warriors, it's like Gundam Warriors or whatever. It's like Arslan Warriors.
So it's just a hack and slash.
It's a giant battle where you mow down enemies.
That sounds fun.
It is pretty fun. It's not the deepest game. But a definitive edition is something I'd be interested in.
Yeah, all the
potentially.
DLC. It really depends the price point for me.
Yeah.
Like if it's low enough, if it's 40 or less, I'll probably consider it.
Is there any precedence? Because you bring this up a lot, the price point. But is there any reason to think that they would release this game for $40?
Or for under 60, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze released at $50 on Wii U. It was one of the few games that that was $10 cheaper.
Everything that's been remastered for Switch though has been $60.
Except for, and this was probably the biggest announcement from this Direct, so I'll just get to it. Dark Souls Remastered comes out in May. It's going to be $40.
Okay, let me ask you guys this: is anyone actually excited to play through that again?
Yes.
I like the idea of it.
I
but
would like
was
to play it.
Such a punishing game.
So I think 3's better because I've only played 1 and 3. I never played 2. But I would love to play it, and on the go means I'll probably play it more.
Yeah, I think with those games, you're going to find a group, like small to large group of people who think each one is the best one.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed Dark Souls 1. My playthrough of it was halted by the amazing Catherine.
Yeah,
Came out at the
Catherine's
same
great.
time.
Oh, Catherine's great. Yeah, that's another one that's only coming out to PlayStation, the remake.
Yeah,
and they're also, anyways, I don't want to get onto that, but the new character they added is very interesting.
They don't know about that yet.
Oh, they don't?
That's a rumor.
Oh, okay.
There's implications, but
Okay. Yeah, the new third Catherine. Okay, speaking of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, that's one of the games that's getting ported over. It's supposed to be spring.
Ooh.
I'm excited. I never beat it.
Oh, I beat it, but I will beat it again.
Yeah, I really, really, really think that's good. You play any Donkey Kongs?
I played on Nintendo 64. That was the last.
Did you play the Super Nintendo ones, hopefully, at least?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because 64 is good, but not like anywhere near the same
Like
as 1, 2,
so
or 3.
all the big Nintendo properties, I haven't played anything between Nintendo 64 and now except Mario Odyssey.
Well,
and
there
Zelda.
wasn't really Donkey Kong.
There was the
going
Wii
on.
one.
Yeah, there was the Wii. That was the reboot. That one's
Yeah.
amazing too. I really wish that this was a double pack. Actually,
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating because now the only way to play the Wii one is 3DS or
that's
Wii.
a thing that I really wish Nintendo would do. Is like I understand the emulation problems with like a GameCube Virtual Console, and I understand the desire to not have not like do a Virtual Console. I don't agree with them at all,
Yeah.
but I really wish they would do something for their Wii games because the Wii is such a useless system now.
Yeah,
and
it has some great games.
It has some really great games, but they all look awful because
Yeah.
you just can't. It's not even that their graphics are bad; it's that they don't even have like. You can't even use an HDMI. Like you
You have
can't
to use component. That's
Yeah.
the best you can get.
Do you
off the
think
Wii.
that eventually though they'll once they get through their classic lineup they'll get to like a Wii classic?
I don't want. I personally, I would prefer them to actually resell me some of those games than I would for them doing a whole.
Because the
like,
ones I would buy would be like Kirby
Last Story.
Anniversary, Last Story, Xenoblade Chronicles 1,
yeah,
Donkey Kong Country Returns,
yeah.
Mario Galaxy maybe.
And there's like, oh man, that we had some great games. Sadly, it's such a ugh. Anyways, Mario Odyssey is getting an update.
Yep.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
Is it a whole new world?
No. It's just Luigi's in each world, and you hide a balloon, and then you play online against other people in asymmetrical, like hide and seek game.
Okay.
So I definitely will try it when it comes out. You have to beat the game though to play it. There is a new Mario Tennis that's coming out, 2018. Looks cool. It's supposed to have a single player story mode.
I'm assuming you use the Joy-Cons motion control kind of deal.
I hope you have options. Like, that's one thing they've been really good about is not just like, oh, this is just Joy-Con, this blah, blah, blah. I think you'll be able to do one or the other.
Oh, yeah, it's a game that I would definitely play with a Joy-Con if...
Yeah, but I think they should allow both. And then Kirby Star Allies. What do you guys think of this? It comes out March.
I think it looks great. It looks fun. I mean, I love Kirby games. They're so fun. I really wish they would just re-release, like I just said, the Wii 25th anniversary Kirby collection that has every freaking Kirby game.
Yeah.
I think that I wish I could play Epic Yarn and that kind of thing. The thing that I don't care for is how multiplayer oriented these newer ones seem. Like, I would love just a solo Kirby experience and I get it because you could still solo this game, but it's like I want to just see where it's like this is just Kirby, because Kirby's Dream Land 2 is one of the best games.
Is that the one on Game Boy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was the one I played. I
and
did really
the
love
Super
it.
Nintendo one.
Kirby's Dream Land
World.
3.
Isn't Kirby's Dream World the one on Super Nintendo, or is that
No.
Kirby's Dream Land 3?
Kirby's Dream Land 3 is the one that looks like it's like the graphics are so good they look like a modern game.
Yeah, I
as in it's that game where it's like storybook crayon almost looking thing.
okay.
But it's so like cool looking that it looks like an indie game from nowadays where someone did an interesting art style.
Yeah, for me, the always, which has been the turnoff since I've purchased games, is the price. Kirby Star Allies is coming out as a $60 game. Like, I just don't know if there's gonna be enough content in there for $60.
I don't think that you're gonna. I think you're only going to see games get more expensive.
For sure. We've talked about that a lot on here, but I just don't see myself purchasing Kirby because of that.
Well, this isn't a remaster, right? This is
it's a brand new game,
yes.
but a lot of these Kirby games are made for children. They're not made. I mean, like, some people like us could probably beat them in the span of 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's an hours to
dollars
price
ratio,
thing,
yeah.
but when you think of how expensive a movie is for an hour and a half movie, I think for the most part, most games kind of like
games are fair. I'm not trying to say that they're not. For me, there are so many good games coming out at this point in life that I can't justify $60 for a game I'm going to play for 3 hours.
I'm sure it'll be longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, my guess though is between 5 and 8.
Well,
that's
think about like this
Kirby.
too. Now they are releasing DLC and add-ons for games.
Yeah,
so,
but you have to pay more money for that too, and it's normally comparable
true.
dollars per hour. Anyway, so enough about money on stuff like that. Speaking of games that I bought, played, beat, and sold, Mario plus Rabbids DLC.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I think it looks cool.
That's great.
I am probably going to wait to get that game again on sale.
You know what we didn't talk about is how Tropical Freeze is introducing an easy mode.
Oh, yeah.
With Funky Kong.
Funky Kong, man. He can literally just surf. It's kind of frustrating and cool. Like, it's cool because they made him, but it's frustrating that he's in easy mode.
Yeah.
You know, like, I want him to just be a new character to play as.
Was the game hard to play originally?
It's got some tough parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
They definitely, I remember playing Donkey Kong Country Returns and dying a ton in that game.
Yeah.
Like spending money
They did a great job with those games. I mean, the level design is just so cool. They brought back the original music people for it, so it's like it's got a killer soundtrack.
So here's 2 indies that they announced. Celeste on January 25th. That looks kind of cool. It's from the guys who made Towerfall, that multiplayer archery style game. It's like a Super Meat Boy.
Yep.
Looks kind of cool. And then this is a weird one. Fe, F-E.
It looks kind of cool. Just the pictures and the art I saw.
Yeah.
It looks
It's
interesting.
like a 3D open world looking style game, but it's by EA's indie initiative.
So it'd be loot boxes.
So there's the loot box. Now I'm curious what it will be, because EA's big style games, like, they tend to milk money out of people, but these indie ones, I could imagine it being pretty interesting.
I didn't know they had an indie company.
I think they're starting it now, like that game from the Brothers creator, A Way Out. Like, that's, I think, also kind of under this initiative, even though that might be a full full price point release.
That made it to one like the most anticipated games list of 2018. I don't think it looks that interesting.
I think it looks cool if you have a friend. It's those supposed to be all play co-op. Like if you have a friend that
it only
lives
looks
at your
good from way out, but not up close.
They tried that with Army of Two, and that ended up not being.
Well, Army of
so,
Two was a lot easier to play solo.
Yeah,
This one's
that's
supposed
true.
to be only really playable co-op. So kind of the idea that he made with Brothers, but instead of you playing both people, you're supposed to play with someone else. The last two, these are probably the most interesting for me besides Dark Souls. The World Ends With You Final Remix. I don't know if I'll get it, but I'm happy that they did it.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if I could handle that game again, as amazing as it was. And so does the Switch screen, is it touchscreen? I saw I
It
watched
is,
the
yeah,
thing, and so it said
touch.
you can play the original way or the new way.
So it is a touch screen. I don't know how much touch it's going to use. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's going to be only controller.
Because I wouldn't want to use a stylus on that screen.
You can't use stylus.
Yeah.
It's only finger capacitive or whatever. Yeah, it's a weird one. I'm glad they're doing it because maybe that will mean a second one.
Although the new character section with the new story, that kind of sounds interesting.
Yeah, I never beat the first one. So if this one like is at some point cheap, I'll probably pick it up. And this is the one that I really wanted to kick because I almost bought it on PS4. Ease 8.
Yes,
Lacrimosa
that is
Dana.
actually that is on my interest list. Yes.
Yeah, I really
It's
liked.
Lacrimosa of Donna.
Yeah, Donna. It should be Dana, D-A-N-A, but
No, it should be Donna, named after me.
yeah,
But
that
spelled
is-
differently.
It's your Lacrimosa. No, I really liked the PS Vita one I played, like a ton. And this is like a console style one, so
Yeah, I think E7 was supposed to be really good too.
yeah, I'm pretty excited to try it out. So that was actually last week, but we recorded really early last week, and we're recording really late this week. And Nintendo had another surprise announcement yesterday. We watched it. We should talk about it. Nintendo Labo. What do you guys? Does somebody want to explain it to the people listening who've never seen the video?
It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It is basically a set of build-it-yourself peripherals made of cardboard that include functioning software for you to do all sorts of things like play a robot that punches buildings or play a piano, turn your Switch into a mini piano.
That is the craziest one.
Or a fishing rod.
Yeah, the fishing rod's cool. The RC car also seems insane. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how they're doing that. The piano is the one, to me, that makes me want to go out and purchase it.
So this has a game that you
so-
play with it.
Yeah,
depending-
they all
Yeah,
come
it comes
with
with software.
software.
So
Okay.
there's...
So for all of the idiots out there that haven't figured that out yet, who keep saying, "Oh, I'm just going to look on YouTube to buy it myself or to build it myself with my own cardboard," it's
doesn't
like,
work
all
that way.
right.
Yeah, it comes with software. There are 2 packs coming out. There's a robot pack, which I think is just a more fully featured game, and you build like a robot backpack and stuff. And Donna mentioned this, but it's $70, or maybe it's $80. And then there's the variety pack, which is $70.
Yeah.
70, and it comes with like you build a house, you build a piano, you build 2 RC cars, you build a fishing rod. It comes with all the cardboard for that. You can buy, like, if you're a kid and you want to decorate it, they sell decoration packs for like $10. I think it could be the coolest thing I've ever seen for kids. Like, just hands down, I think it's the weirdest, coolest, like, build your own. Like, it's like what Lego Dimensions felt like when I saw it, where, oh, you build Legos and then you put them in a game? That's really kind of nifty, you know? Like, for kids, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I want to see one before I go out and buy it, though.
Yeah, I'm hoping we here at Super BS get one just so we can try it. Like,
Yeah.
I still don't even understand how the piano works.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get how you press the keys and it works and plays or how it's going to connect to the Switch.
Well, have you seen those Raspberry Pis where you can do stuff like that? Like you can create like a piano out of like your stairs and stuff.
Yeah, but you got to eat it eventually.
You gotta eat it. I mean, it's Raspberry Pi.
Yeah,
so.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have any, besides just how weird it is? Are you guys interested in like purchasing it or?
Definitely interested. I don't know if I'll purchase one for myself, but
Yeah.
I would purchase one as a group and try it out.
Yeah.
If I had kids, I'm sure that
We always talk about this, but we never do this. We should do a video for like making one of these together because it would be stupid and fun. And I've heard the most complex ones take 2 hours to make.
wow.
Jeez, are there instructions?
I
Sure,
would
yeah.
imagine. I'm curious if the instructions are on the Switch screen, because I'd imagine that would be a really easy way for them to do them without, so they just have to send you cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's most of the news. I kind of ran through a lot of it.
Really quick.
What
do you guys think of the situation going on at Quantum Dream?
Oh.
That's
know.
what I think.
Yeah.
It sucks because the guy was from a French tabloid or something, and they're
Yeah.
saying, everyone over there is saying this guy always lies about stuff, but but it just sucks because Detroit Become Human is such like a socially conscious game that it's going to be under a microscope until it comes out.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that, but at the same time, like, I've been more interested in to see how the Sony fanboys like defend what's his face? What is the guy's name? David Cage.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Don. Yeah, how the Sony fanboys defend David Cage than I am actually in the whole story, because there are terrible people at every company.
Right.
This is just one that happened to get out there.
Well, from what I understand, Sony and Quantum Dream both did an internal investigation into these accusations, and they couldn't find anything.
Well, from what I understand, is Sony blacklisted the company who wrote these articles.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they couldn't find anything.
Or they just,
Here's the thing. Like, you don't want press like this in this day and age about your game. Like, just period. Or ever.
Right.
And this is grounds for a lot of companies to shut projects down.
That
So
would suck, though. They've been working on this for a long time.
I don't think they will shut it down. I think they're just going to sweep it under the rug. If you remember, Naughty Dog had like a similar thing
Before
where some
Uncharted 4.
Yeah, just one dude. Actually, I thought it was more recent, like before Uncharted Lost Legacy. I thought it was last year.
Was it?
Yeah, and some guy came out and said there was some type of workplace misbehaving. I don't remember the exact story, but they couldn't confirm his story.
Yeah.
This one seems like it's a lot larger scale. And honestly, it makes sense. You think about it, David Cage has been a developer since the late 90s, early 2000s when he released Indigo Prophecy.
Right.
And he, like, you work at a video game company.
Yeah.
90% of your developers are males. It's very understandable to, not that it's good or right or anything, but it's very understandable to think that jokes about sex and things like that might actually come when it's
and you're
90%
working
dudes.
in a video game company. Like that just seems like it's part of the territory. But I get why like it would be a problem.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to excuse them for doing that.
We also don't know what these jokes were because
Yeah, were they funny? I mean, no.
yeah.
Well,
I
how
mean,
funny
but-
were they? That's
but-
the most important part.
But in a lot of ways, that's almost important because I've worked with females before. I don't personally go for making inappropriate jokes in front of them, but I know women that I've worked with that make inappropriate jokes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have been. I remember when I was a young kid and very, very innocent. I remember working, and in the back, people were talking about very, very, very explicit sexual behavior, and just being like, "We're at work. Can't you guys not talk about this stuff here?"
Brian's
And
talking about hand holding. He's a
hand
very
holding.
innocent boy.
It was hand holding and cheek kissing, man.
Oh,
they were
geez.
cheek kissing all
First base,
day.
man, dangerous territory.
Oh man, but yeah, it's up to you if you guys want to keep talking about this thing. I think there's too many unknowns for us really to say much.
I
beyond,
just
like,
wanted to see what you guys thought of it.
I don't know, man. Nowadays, I don't even know what to think.
Yeah, well, it's more these days. It's shoot first, ask questions later, and that just sucks
Yeah.
for people involved in the project, though.
Yeah, it does, and we'll see what happens. I honestly think this will be very similar to the the Naughty Dog one. Like I said, though, I think it will be kind of swept under the rug. The game will come out. Maybe it will be brought up again after that.
Right. Yeah.
But any other news articles that I may have missed? I know I kind of shotgunned them all, but there was a lot that I wanted us to talk about this week.
I think you got everything, at least that I read.
Yeah, I wanted to get the big ones out of the way. Well, anyways, we got a backlog chat where me and Donna talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider. We'll probably have that up either next week or the week after. We should have an interview with Mimimi. They made Shadow Tactics Play the Shogun. That should be up in the next couple weeks.
N++ will go up tonight.
Yeah, N++ review. You could find us on Instagram or Twitter at SuperBS or SuperBSCast or SuperBS Gamecast. It's crazy. I don't know why we have so many different names, but we do. Expect more reviews. I'm gonna try to do a Tacoma one. I'll try to get Donna getting these done. We have like a website, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's humanicanmedia.com/blog, and you can catch all of our reviews and stuff. Or just go to our Facebook, and Facebook and Twitter. We always put the links up there.
We have our Game of the Year stuff up there, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
correct.
cool. Yeah, that's really really cool. And is my Wolfenstein 2 review
It
up
is.
there?
Yep.
Awesome! Hooray! Anything you guys want to add before we wrap it?
Nope.
Yep. superbscast@gmail.com. Peace.
Peace.
That's to us people that can feel things. It hurts.